Hi there, welcome back. This is Manu here. In this video, in the series on English for negotiation skills, we're going to look at creating the first impression. In the previous video, we looked at how to create a first impression. We got a general idea about that. We also looked at the way it can be strategized. Now, today, we're going to look at the language that we need to create this good first impression. And what kind of language do you need? We'll look at that soon. But before I start, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already and hit that like button, that thumbs up button to help us. See, we need the kind of language to express our opinion on how we do the business, on our way of doing business, how to agree, how to disagree politely again, so that you don't hurt that person. This actually helps the client to know your personality, the personality of your business, what's your business culture, and whether they can actually build a rapport with you, whether they match with their own business culture. Your business culture, their business culture, can they come together? And you're going to help promote that. Let's look at a few chunks you need to express that in English. I think it's essential to do this, or I think it's important to do that. This is a good chunk if you wish to stress on the importance of what you're about to say. Let's look at an example here. I think it's essential to set the timelines for the project before it started. Another one is, our view is that, so you're giving your personal view. An example statement could be, our view is that it's important to be customer-centric. This is how we work. Now note that last chunk, this is how we work. So we're saying, our view is it's important to be customer-centric. That's how we work. So both these, our view is that you're giving your opinion. It's important to be customer-centric. The specific point that you're putting across, and this is how we work, tells you that is your culture. That's a permanent thing. Let's look at another one. We firmly believe that retaining existing customers is as important as creating new ones. This is the way we work. This is how we work. This is the way we work. These chunks help you project your work culture. Another one. Our approach is to have a systematic approach to any project. There is a duplication. Our approach is to have a systematic approach. It's fine. Don't really fret on that. We are convinced that research and development is a very useful function. We believe that some of the best ideas come from outside in. The way we look at it is, money spent on training our employees is an investment. As a company, it's our policy that everyone in the company must focus on customers, not just our sales and marketing teams. It seems to me that we share the same perspective. Now, notice this. The last one, it seems to me that we share the same perspective. It's a very personal thing that you just said. So you come close to that person. And all the other chunks project your work culture. You state it as an opinion, but this is how we work, makes it final. Now, let's look at a few chunks to agree. We know there are lots of ways of agreement. For instance, I don't have a problem with that. That's a good point. There's a lot to be said for that point that you just made. I could go along with that. I'm with you there. You couldn't have said a truer word. I know what you mean. I couldn't agree with you more. Now, these are the chunks that you could use anywhere and everywhere in any situation. Let's look at 4 more chunks here. That's very true. I agree with that. Absolutely. I'm absolutely in favor of that. In our sample conversation towards the end of this video, you'll see how we use these chunks. Now let's look at a few chunks to disagree. The point here is, when you disagree, you should be polite, never be aggressive, never be violent. How do you do that? I see where you're coming from, but... Now look at this. I see where you're coming from. That tells you agree with them. You're with them. You got a but, and that tells them that, okay, you've got another thing coming, but you're not saying they are wrong. So there is no aggression, no violence. The others also follow the same trend. I dare say you're right, but I have a different perspective. I'm sure you have a point there, but I don't think I share that opinion. I know what you mean, but I can't see myself agreeing on this. All these chunks have an initial agreement chunk, followed by a disagreement chunk with a but, or anything that tells that is opposite to what you have in mind. Although you have agreed, there is a disagreement bit, which is not really very big is what you're saying, but you have your point over there. Now, these three things, telling about your business, the way you do business, agreeing and disagreeing, are very, very important set of chunks that you've got to create a first impression. There's a language bit. Use this language to create your first impression wherever you go in any situation, not just negotiations. Let's listen to the conversation. Note how these chunks are used in that conversation. Not all, but the way they have been placed, the way they create a strong impression. Let's start. We hear that your CEO was deeply concerned about the 5% fall in demand last quarter. Sounds like he's a bit high-strung.
Well, he believes we'll have to wind up unless our inventory system is fixed completely, and that's found favor with the board.
Okay.
Actually, the audit suggested this could reduce our inventory costs by around 80%, in fact.
Wow.
Yeah. Our view is that it's essential to reduce all avoidable costs. And we firmly believe this helps being customer-centric. That's the way we work.
I see where you're coming from, and I'm absolutely in favor of that. For us, it's tremendously important that our customers benefit from us in terms of both quality and price.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. But I believe that's easier said than done. What do you say? The way we look at it, we lost over 20% year on year because of inventory issues. And unless corrected in time, it could have a cascading effect.
You couldn't have said a truer word. The aim is to move towards 100% capacity utilization.
Absolutely. Like during the new release last March, we faced a tremendous capital crunch.
So you're looking at not just inventory management, but a working capital overall as well. Quite interesting. So that was a conversation that we just heard using those chunks that we've learned in the earlier part of the video. Use those chunks as much as possible. And using these chunks in your negotiation skills will definitely give you an upper hand in creating a good impression. But don't forget, the others also have the same thing, so you will hit it off pretty well. Both of you will create a good impression, and that's going to succeed in helping you get the business you want. We'll see you in the next video when we talk about how to set the agenda. Thank you for watching this video, liking it and subscribing to our channel. We'll see you in the next video. Until then.